Hello everyone, my name is Andre and today we are back with some more Dragon Ball Z Abridged. Today we are watching episode 26 and a couple of things before we start. Last episode, let's start with a small recap, shall we? Last episode, we saw for the first time Frieza second form, second transformation, the one that looks like his father, King Cole. And we also saw Nail fuse with Piccolo, which by actually something that I personally liked, they actually decided to maintain Nail and to actually keep him around as a voice inside Piccolo's head, which is a very, very fun idea. It's something that personally only works on DBZ A because, Nail has a funny, mocking type of, fuck you personality. Whilst, Piccolo in this show is a bit insecure, a bit lonely. So it plays off well and it really works really good because Nail can be the critic whilst, Piccolo is like acting and they can like bicker about like an old married couple. So I think it's something and a dynamic that will actually be really interesting if they decide to keep it around. Nail did say, however, that he would eventually disappear. So I don't know if they are going to keep him around or if, in the beginning when they decided to do this, they were like, we're just gonna keep him around like a few episodes and then, like Ghost Nappa, because we haven't seen Ghost Nappa in a while. I don't know if they like decided like, we're just gonna keep him around a few episodes and then cut him off, it's over. Or if they are actually going to keep him around longer than that, and they just said that in the beginning because they had the intention of cutting him out, and eventually they decided not to. I don't really know, but I will find out eventually, isn't it? So yeah, that was very awesome because I really liked Nail's character. So it's good to see that, at least he didn't got cut, like many other characters in this show ended up being. Besides that, Krillin thought he was immortal, which was very, very fun, and yeah, I think that's about it. Now on a more sad note, I mentioned this on the description of my last episode, but I did want to make a sort of, I did want to talk a little bit about this. Dragon Ball Z Abridged is unfortunately over, and I read what they said on their Patreon. I didn't watch the video that they posted on their channel. Honestly, I don't know if I'm gonna, because the post said mostly all I needed to know. Personally, I'm sad, obviously, because we are at episode 26 and this show has been so great and so fun to watch, and it has been fun to talk about this show with you guys. It has been fun to see it myself because it's a new interpretation of what Dragon Ball Z could have been, and personally, it makes me sad to see that, at least for now, because they said, even though they cancelled it, they did say that they didn't know if this was going to be permanent, but it was a right now kind of thing. They are not going to do it because they don't feel like they have anything to add to the Buu saga. And I don't know how the finale of episode 60 was, but what I read is that they felt like that final episode was a finale in itself. And quite honestly, I never saw the Buu saga as a continuation of Dragon Ball Z. I always thought that Dragon Ball Z ended with the Cell saga, and then the Buu saga was like an epilogue. What happened after? And it was just a really long epilogue. I adore the Buu saga. I really love it. I grew up with that saga. And Um, Kid Buu is one of my favorite Dragon Ball characters, for instance. I remember playing Budokai 2 and being completely obsessed with fighting with Kid Buu, and you know, it's honestly quite sad to see such an amazing show. They said that they couldn't see how they would continue after that. Personally, like I said, they could have thought about it not as a continuation but as an epilogue, and they could have done it like that. It makes me sad that we'll not see Team 4 Star's version of the Final Atonement. It makes me sad that we won't see Super Vegito and Vegito. It makes me sad that we will not see Gogeta or Go Trunks. It makes it really sucks that we'll not see like Super Saiyan 3 Goku and probably commenting about the length of his hair and being really stupid about it, and Vegeta like eating his you know, stress eating or something like that. It makes me sad that we won't see like so many possibilities and so much more. You know, it really sucks, and I feel like a lot of you guys are, you know, sad about this news, like I am. I haven't finished DBZ A, but I already, you know, feel some sort of attachment to this. Not only because I'm, you know, doing videos on this, but because it's my childhood here. You know, it's Dragon Ball, and it's just a fun version of Dragon Ball, and it really does suck. But at the same time, you know, as a creator and as a cinema student, I understand. I completely understand. And I'm sure most of you guys understand it. They do not want, and I personally also understand, and I personally also believe that they should not do Dragon Ball Z Abridged if they are not going to do Dragon Ball Z Abridged. If it's not going to maintain, at the very least, maintain the quality of what the show has been up to now. And every episode, you know, every season, the episodes just get better. It gets funnier, it gets smarter, it gets into more Dragon Ball-esque. You know, it stops, almost stops merge. I'm sorry, my mistake here. It almost starts merging itself with the original works of Akira Toriyama. And for it not to be at that level, it would be disappointing, and it would be maddening. I can already imagine the fans, you know, saying, this is not what I hoped it would be. And if they are not sure about what they are doing with the Buu Saga, or what they were doing with the Buu Saga, if they are not sure about it, and then you have the other things they mention on their Patreon, such as, you know, copyright problems and videos being taken down and all that fight. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. And if they are not happy with the result, especially because they don't have the attachment that they had up until the Cell Saga, like they said on the Patreon thing, it's not worthwhile. And as much as, you know, I'm sad that I will not get to see Dragon Ball Z Abridged Season 4, I will not see Dragon Ball Abridged, I will not see Dragon Ball Super Abridged, because, you know, we can assume that having this cancelled will make it so that the rest is cancelled as well. And maybe one day they either pass the torch to someone else and allow someone that they trust to maybe write this, and they can do the voice acting, just the voice acting, or, you know, they just completely pass the torch to someone else and we'll have to get used to the new voices, but it will be fun to watch. Regardless of what the future of DBZ A ends up being, or if it's just really over, we don't know. And really, it's something that it's unknown to every single one of us. But I believe, personally, that regardless of what happens in the future, at the very least, what we have is 60 episodes of amazingness, and we should celebrate that instead of, being disappointed or sad with like 100 episodes of Dragon Ball Z Abridged. Guys, please don't forget to show your support Team 4-Star. Links will be in the description below. And let's watch this amazing show, shall we? So guys, I had a bit of a technical problem. My phone went out of battery and I just ended up losing around 40 minutes of footage. Don't worry about that though. I just like ended up seeing around 3 minutes of the episode. I stopped a lot and started talking about certain things that were happening on the episode, such as the whole power levels up bullshit that is going to happen soon, and a lot about character development and the whole Go On arc, which I do intend to discuss that a little bit when that ends up happening again. But I do want to apologize if my, reaction to the first 3 minutes is not as outstanding. Really sorry about that, but I just ended up losing all of it because my phone ended up not recording it. So yeah, sorry about that. But without further ado, let's begin, shall we?
The following is a fan-based parody. Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, and Dragon Ball GT are all owned by Funimation, Toei Animation, Fuji TV, and Akira Toriyama.
Really was a lot of footage.
To think your race had the ability to produce such capable fighters. I'm surprised I hadn't destroyed you sooner.
And to think your race has the ability to produce such whiny bitches. I'm surprised anyone can take you seriously. Wait a damn minute, something's wrong here.
Huh?
Back on your planet, the Namek couldn't even stand up to Nappa. Yet here he is now, taking on Frieza. In his
You
second
would be
form.
confused.
What do you think happened?
Well, either Frieza hit me so hard I'm in a delusional coma,
Or?
power levels are bullshit.
So, yeah, when he said that, I stopped here to talk about a little bit about how they stopped caring about power levels in the show and how they stopped utilizing them as measurements and as an attempt to make a villain look more outstanding. I made the argument here that, you had the Battle of Gods movie, which introduced something called God Ki, as you guys know, and in it, God Ki is described to be as a pure, more concentrated version of Ki. That's why it gives a boost to whoever is utilizing it. Now, on the episode, one of the characters which is introduced in that movie and further on in Dragon Ball Super is Beerus, the God of Destruction, which he's introduced to be this overbearingly powerful god that surpasses any kind that we have met in a astronomical level. This is not someone which is just a little bit stronger or is going to get stronger throughout. This is the impossible to achieve. This is the highest standard of Universe 7. So in the movie, we see this, and then as Goku achieves God Ki, which, now that I think about it more, it makes sense for Goku to achieve God Ki through the help of other Saiyans, because what they are doing to Goku is concentrating their own Ki inside Goku, making it God Ki. That is why I believe that ritual ended up working. So, in it, Goku fights Beerus, and he ends up saying that he utilized 70% of his own power. However, further into the series, we learn that he was lying or something. It is made so that Beerus is still stronger, especially because in Resurrection of F, Goku achieves something called Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, which is also called Super Saiyan God Blue. Now, this transformation is very simple. It's Goku in Super Saiyan mode, but utilizing God Ki, which, leads us to believe that things like Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan 3 are also possibilities. When Goku fights, like I was saying, Goku fights Beerus, he says he utilized 70% of his power, but when he achieves Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, which is Super Saiyan Blue, he's still not stronger than Beerus, which makes no sense. It just doesn't. Because Blue is supposed to be stronger than Red. And I know they said in the Tournament of Power that it was just different. Blue was more attacking or whatever, and Red was more defensive, but we are talking about a Super Saiyan. We're talking about a Saiyan utilizing God Ki with no transformation, and a Super Saiyan utilizing God Ki. There's a transformation gap here, and if you're telling me that Red and Blue are exactly the same with a few exceptions on one is more agile and the other is more defensive, one is more attacking wise and the other is more tanking wise, you know, if you're telling me that, I'm gonna call bullshit, because I just can't believe that. That's the truth, you know, because if that's what you want to do, then don't call your transformation Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan. Just call it Super Saiyan God Blue. And make it a defensive time, and then just do the rainbow, and that's it. Z fighters should attain, like I said in a previous video, God Ki. The reason why is because obviously we have seen other characters in the anime achieving such thing, such as Topo. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched it. Topo achieves the God Ki of the God of Destructions. He achieves the Hakai and stuff like that. And because of that, it is safe to assume that other characters, such as Piccolo and Krillin and Tenshinhan and Masaroshi, could also attain God Ki. Now, Dragon Ball is built on a cliché formula, which is a formula of many shonen that started on the 80s and the 90s. The formula is quite simple. You know, you have the main character, and then the main character has a rival, so that they can both evolve. The following characters, the characters that are around both the main character and the rival, are still strong characters, but only at the beginning. After that, those characters move behind so that the two characters, being the main and the rival, can stand out as being way more powerful than the others. Now, there's a problem with doing this in Dragon Ball, which is quite simple. In Dragon Ball, all the characters that are supporting are very important. They are characters that we grew up with and have extreme development. Most shows that do this type of formula do not end up developing as much the other characters. They are just character A, which is somewhat cliched, character B, which is somewhat cliched. Now, this is not the only place where it happens. Pokemon, Digimon, and many others utilize this type of formula, which, you know, is fine if you don't develop the other characters, because we barely care. So that's really what I wanted to talk regarding God Ki and all of that. Let's continue. Sorry for this video being so long, by the way, guys. You know, I know it, you know, I'm rambling quite a lot, but I just have a lot to say about it.
Wow, you're really kicking his ass.
Oh, you're still here.
Yeah, I've just been watching you knock this guy around. Kind of bored, wishing I had something to do. You got any ideas?
Now is not the time.
Piccolo's actually standing up.
I
to
like
him,
the relationship between Piccolo and Nail.
We may actually win. Yeah, that's just great. If you'll excuse me, though, I've gotta.
Bye.
Oh, for the love of... I'm out.
Huh?
Would you hold on for a moment, please? I'll be right back.
All right, I just got.
Question for you guys in the comments below. Why did they actually stop in the actual anime? Because I don't remember. You tell me. Curious.
Find one of the Ginyu ships and get the hell out of here. I'll just go to Frieza Planet 419.
Now here
no one
comes.
ever goes to Frieza Planet 419. Not since its species miraculous.
I can see the future.
I can see the future.
Cute. Ah, the real Boo is a child. Yeah. Yeah. It really didn't make sense for me for the real Boo being a child. I love the Boo saga, but it doesn't really make sense for the stronger Boo to be the kid Boo because he's the original one, and the other Boos have absorbed Supreme Kai, so they should be able to not only utilize God Ki, which is mentioned in the comics, by the way. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. But at the same time, not only should they be able to use God Ki, but they also should be stronger because you are just adding up power levels or multiplying them or whatever. I don't really know how the absorption really works. But, you know, the whole thing about Super Boo was that by absorbing people he got stronger, and we know that Kid Boo just wasn't enough to defeat the gods, so he started absorbing them to become stronger and ended up becoming, Fat Boo. And that ended up, becoming the strongest Boo, technically. So I understand that they wanted to keep adding on Boo's transformation and eventually ending up on the pure evil version of Boo, a mindless killing machine that just wants to destroy everything. But making that version the strongest, it never really made sense for me. Technically that Boo still had part of the Kai's absorb, wasn't it? But still, it really doesn't make any sense for me. I do believe they did explain it briefly on the show, why he was getting stronger. It was after Goku and Vegeta get out with everyone else. But I don't recall what how they explained that. So, yeah, but still, I still don't think it's good.
Trying to Trunks become a guy! God is the strongest in the universe, but still doesn't do crap.
Yeah. So this is the last ramble that I did, and this, this and the other, and then the end of DBZ A is why this video is going to be super long. Yeah. So, basically what I said about Gohan is that when you are talking about writing, and when you're writing a character, and you develop that character, if that character has an evolution throughout, it's important to maintain that evolution, because if not, it undermines everything that character has done to achieve that high standard, that high point that they did. An example would be Jaime Lannister. Throughout the show, we see this terrible person that pushed a kid and tried to murder a child. And we hate this guy. This guy is terrible. This guy is hateful. This guy is a monster. Not only for that, but for the other things that he does. He is disgusting, despicable, and many other bad traits belong to him. Prideful, whatever. But then, throughout the entire course of God, he evolves and becomes a likable character. He becomes a good guy, a hero. Now, his whole development is like this. It does exactly this. It goes up, and he evolves so much that from this monster that you never thought from the very beginning that you'd end up liking, you change your mind on it. He ends up becoming a hero, which you, even by the end of it, can't actually believe that you are rooting for the guy who pushed the kid out of a window and paralyzed him. Now, he had an entire redemption arc, which was completely destroyed on the final season of Game of Thrones. If you don't know what happened, I'm not going to tell you. But those who've watched it, you know what I'm talking about. And all of that just makes you angry. Because not only does it undermine the character, it feels off. It doesn't feel like it belongs there. It doesn't feel like the character would act that way because of that evolution. It feels disrespectful to the character because you just know that the writers don't care enough to write him off in a good way, you know, respecting all the hard work the character did throughout the show. And it just is a big fuck you to everyone who's watching and who supported this guy and who ended up liking this guy out of his evolution. You're like, you like Jaime Lannister? You're a fucking idiot. He never changed. That was all bullshit. Now, with Gohan, something similar happens. Sorry about that, by the way. With Gohan, something similar happens, actually. Gohan is a coward. Gohan is a nerdy kid. Gohan is a very studious. He's the brains. He's not the brawn. But he's born with an extreme ability. He has a lot of potential, and throughout the entirety of the show, he's told that, you know, you have a lot of potential, but he just cannot utilize it. He does not know how to utilize it. Throughout the entirety of the show, he evolves to become what we see on the finale of the Cell Saga, which is SSJ2 Gohan. You know, brave, the hero, you know, he knows what he's fighting for and he wants to protect everyone. He's strong, confident. He, you know, fighting is not his purpose, but he knows that he must do it to save everyone. And especially now that his father is gone, he knows the importance of maintaining the peace. Because even though he went away, it doesn't mean the threats are gone for good. If Goku had not resurrected, or wasn't allowed to come back to life, the Buu thing would have completely killed everyone because Gohan wasn't training in the future. That in and of itself, what happened to Gohan in the Buu saga, and further on in Dragon Ball Super, is a big fuck you to that character, because by the end of the Cell Saga, he finally became what everyone watching wanted him to become. You know, in the first he was the whiny kid, then he was the coward. He was always the weakling, he was always catching up, because he wanted, you know, to protect his friends, but, you know, he had his father. But that was no more. His father wasn't around, and now he had to step up to the plate. He had to become the one to take up Goku's shoes and protect the entirety of the universe. If not that, even if it wasn't just the universe, at least protect the Earth. Now, again, this just shows how killing off Goku and making Gohan step up to the plate was maybe not the greatest idea. By doing this to Gohan, and then bringing back Goku because of the backlash, Toriyama had to... Technically, it's the equivalent of writing off a character in Game of Thrones. He had to write him off. He couldn't kill Gohan because people despise him for that. But he also couldn't make Gohan stronger than Goku, because if he was stronger than Goku, people would wonder why Goku is still the main character. So, what he decided to do was make him a weakling. Was make him quit fighting, and quite honestly, I wish he changed places with future Gohan from the Trunks world. Quite honestly, that's what I think. Because that Gohan was the Gohan we should have gotten. It's sad but true.
So, Vegeta, where are you going?
Oh, you know, places.
Places, hmm? Like that mountain over there?
Actually, that looks more like a plateau.
That's still funny.
Sorry about that. Where were we?
Last time I checked, I was planting my foot firmly
is
somewhere
where I
between
stopped
your lungs and colon.
An admirable feat for a lowlife such as yourself. I have a question for you, though.
What's that?
Die.
That's not a
Yeah,
question.
it's dumb.
That's because I don't do requests.
That didn't last real f***ing long.
Oh, shut up, bitch. You couldn't even set up to fast form Frieza, so
Now,
shut
that
the
was
fuck
just
up.
a love tap.
Don't think you have the upper hand yet. I'm still wearing weighted armor.
Oh man, that sounded good. Now I have to do my neck. Ow, my neck!
Weighted armor.
Fair enough.
How quaint. And how much does it weigh?
Same as it always does. 100 kilo.
You really should start upgrading that a bit more.
Oh.
That's just cute.
It
That
is.
concept just sort of lost meaning after a while,
Well,
didn't
it lost meaning because you
But I
didn't
have one
keep...
that's nice, fresh,
You're getting
and
stronger.
ripe for abuse. Transformation. And spoiler warning, it's not getting old anytime soon.
It
You
isn't.
can't be serious.
Oh, but I am. See, I
Hey
made
man, can I talk to you about something really quick?
I'm
Hi, Nell.
seriously in the middle of something right now.
Yeah, I know, but I've been looking around and you've got like no apps up here. I have already played the crap out of Minesweeper.
Could you just... Wait, I have apps? I have Minesweeper?
Is it because of the antenna? You know. Yeah. Maybe you can catch TV as well. I don't know. Minesweeper. Cute pun. But like, if the antennas actually work and get the internet, just do whatever you want there.
I just thought I could connect to the internet with my antennae.
I
Yeah!
know we could do that.
We learn something new every day. Now, would you let me focus?
Hey, you want to play me in Minesweeper?
You can't play someone in Minesweeper. That's a single-player game.
See, first I go, then you go and try to beat my tide in a haze. He transforming.
Damn it!
Yeah, that's how they justify the waiting for the Frieza transformation.
So, Namekian, what
Change
do
the
you
voice
think
of
of
it
my
again.
third form?
I think Ridley Scott's gonna sue somebody.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, yeah. Did Alien come out before this? Regardless, you know, it still looks oddly like, you know, an Alien. I think it did. This was like 90s and Alien was like 80s. But yeah, no, yeah. I've always thought that they were oddly similar. But yet again, this form wasn't around for long, so who cares?
Let me touch your skin.
Oh no, this is horrible. How could this happen?
He's going to kill us all!
He's a pedophile. And an Namekian-phile. And it's pathetic to lose to that.
Poor little Namekian. Can't touch
True.
me anymore. How about this?
Yeah.
Let's play a game.
There goes
Ever
the
heard
boost.
of paintball?
Yeah,
Just remove the T.
I don't get it. Oh, I get it!
Now, I like
For
this
your
attack
other
actually.
glue box.
You're not really familiar with our anatomy, are you?
It doesn't matter. I'll hit your glue box somewhere.
Oh, not this crap again!
Hold on! I have an idea. I don't want to hear any of your stupid crap.
I only promised to try.
I need you to, and follow me on this one, almost kill me.
Almost kill you.
Yeah,
And there's no repercussion for this.
I will not punch you.
Oddly specific.
I'm going to need a moment to prepare myself, otherwise I might go into shock. You are so punched!
You said you wouldn't punch him. Come on, Vegeta, don't be a sore loser.
Hey, Frieza! The human body is composed of 75% water. I am 100% death. Have some!
What? Oh no! The
That was
invincible
so
Lord Frieza
stupid.
defeated by a mere child. What dramatic irony! No, just kidding.
Crap baskets.
Yeah, what did you think was going to happen, you dumb shit?
Mr. Piccolo!
It's the
you
third
saved
time
me
he saved
again.
you.
Saved is sort of subjective here.
Fair
So
enough.
we're all well aware that that all basically equated to a game of hot space potato, right? Well then, I say we get a move on. Who here's tired of my third form?
Me.
Me?
Me,
Alrighty then, final form it is.
personally, I was a bigger fan of the first form.
I'd settle on second, really.
And they let him.
Piccolo?
Well, they can't
Don't
really
worry,
stop him
we
now,
have
but
Dende.
still, they let him.
He can heal you. Krillin, where's Dende?
Oh, but little green's over there with Vegeta.
Why?
I blew a hole in his chest
Tick.
Why?
because he asked for it.
You green thing, heal me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time hearing you over the smell of my people's blood on your hands.
Oh no, do not be that guy right
He
now.
did apologize
I'm
for that
going to
later
be that
on.
guy right now.
Yeah.
I am literally going to die.
Well, how about this? I'll heal you on one condition.
And that is...
Say my name.
Oh shit.
You don't even know my name.
Oh, I do. It's, Little green.
No, no, it's Dende. Say Dende.
Dende.
Now say, please heal me, Dende.
Please heal me, Dende.
Well, since you asked so nicely,
Come back, Magic Man.
and you, my friend, are a subject of nepotism.
Thank you, Magic Man.
It's good to have you back, Nail.
I'm not Nail.
Technically, you kind of are.
Shut up, Nail.
Why are you talking to yourself?
No reason. Now go heal Vegeta.
Why would I do that?
He and Nail do look the same. Similar,
Because
but
that.
Oh yeah, that's happening right now.
Krillin, why aren't you using your Tianzan?
Yeah, you know, I keep forgetting to do that.
I can probably escape that.
Well, I kind of used all my energy to mortally wound Vegeta.
Fair enough.
Seriously, what did I miss?
Twist my arm.
The opportunity of a lifetime, Gohan.
You
The opportunity of a
healed
lifetime.
me.
Of course I did. I'm a nice guy.
And now
That's
what's
such
to stop me
bullshit.
from kicking your face in?
Because you touch me, and you're not getting back up again. That's right, I'm your white mage. And nobody with the white mage.
Say that again.
Oh, I feel real good about my life right now.
Okay, the voice is back, and I really like that voice. So that's good.
Little green! No!
Actually, Krillin, his name was Dende.
Oh, that's funny. Never spoke up about it.
Gee.
I want to slap him. I want to slap him in his face. A fucking dick.
Jesus Christ, how horrifying.
So, yeah, guys. I'm gonna leave the episode here because it's 40 minutes already. And we don't want an hour episode. I'm gonna probably cut some things. So, yeah. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!